Good morning. I have a book review this morning. It's Light Years by James Salter. I finished this book about a week and a half ago and I hadn't even really thought about doing a book review on it. I don't really do book reviews on every single book that I read. I don't know why. I think I just never get around to it, or I borrow a lot of the books from the library just because I find it's easier. Books can be so expensive nowadays. So when I usually finish a book, I'll just go return it and then it's like I never kind of see that book again. And I like to do the book reviews with the copy here in front of me. So I had never heard of this author before, James Salter. The few weeks ago I was in the library for hours trying to find a book. And it's not that, there weren't great books there. Of course there was, but I don't know if anyone else gets this, but it's like you walk into the library and you kind of know roughly what book you want to pick up. Like you kind of want to pick up the book, but you don't necessarily know what that is. So you don't really know what you're looking for, but you're just really picky, really choosy. You go to read, I usually would just go to read like the first 3 pages. If it doesn't pull me in then, because obviously that'll give you an indication of how the writer's going to write and stuff. If it doesn't pull me in then I'll just kind of put it back down. And I just found that day nothing was working, and I was looking up on the internet like what could be some good books, or I was going to like the authors that I would usually read, and I was just not having a good day. And then I just decided to go to like the modern classics, and I thought, oh, maybe I'll just read a modern classic. Like you can't really go wrong with the classics. And I just picked up this one. And what got me was the blurb. So I'll just read the blurb out. So Nedra and Viri are a couple whose enviable life is centered on civilized pleasures. Their children, a variety of friends, and days lived to the utmost. Be it skating on a frozen river or summers by the sea, it is a world solidly built on matrimony and its details. The one moment, 1 hour, 1 day recapture everything, but fine cracks are beginning to spread through the shimmering surface, flaws that will eventually mar the lovely picture beyond repair. Seductive, witty, tender, and resonant, Light Years is a ravishing novel of lost lives and the elusiveness of happiness. So that really got me interested, because when I read this blurb, I kind of got the idea that the whole plot really is the marriage between Nedra and Viri, and it is. So I'll just say it's basically spanning from 1950 to I'd say maybe mid-1980s, early 1980s, and you're basically the observer of their whole relationship. So within this book, there's nothing crazy that happens, we need to figure out kind of something. This book is pretty much just you're the observer and you're watching this marriage, and this couple is seen as quite an affluential couple. They're hosting dinners, they're hosting parties, they've got a huge social circle, and it kind of seems like people in their life, like their friends, the mutuals, that you can see cracks in their marriages. And multiple times people come to Nedra and Viri and say, you have the best marriage. How did I get so lucky? Like, you guys are so lucky. And so they're seen as this like ideal couple, ideal family. But then over time there's some cracks that show. And I've never really read a book where there hasn't been necessarily a main plot, where you kind of just feel like an observer, because that's kind of how I felt, like you're beginning to read, their daily routines and stuff. You're reading inside each character's thoughts, but it's not like anything's happening. So you don't really have to fully think about the story as a whole. You're just kind of going day by day with them, year by year. And I'd never read a book by James Salter before, and the way he wrote, I feel like, is so elegant. Like, you could open any page and read his words, and it'll take you straight to that scene. Like, I feel like there's only some authors that have the ability to paint the picture no matter what the scene is, and I think he really did that and yeah, I think it was really good. Um, yeah, that was Light Years. I don't want to say too much about it as well, obviously, because you'd be watching this book review and potentially reading it. So I don't want to say or spoil anything, but I do really recommend this book. It's quite an easy read. Um, yeah,